Hey, so thank you for joining in my podcast, Marco, Stallion. We'll just call
What's
you
up?
Marco for the time being. Really excited to have you here. You already know what's going to go on. We'll
Yeah.
talk about pretty much everything or as much as we can. So the first thing I wanted to start off is your name. Where did Stallion come from?
Yeah, so Stallion originates from my Italian background, so Italian Stallion. I was called it when I was in school. I was quite nippy. I used to play a lot of football, so I used to be like really quick and nippy with the football. So everybody used to refer to me as Italian Stallion. So, and then funnily enough, my favorite animals are horses. So it just
Oh, really?
kind of fit really. So yeah, I just
Yeah,
stuck with it.
yeah.
Yeah.
When you say you're Italian, what part of Italy are you from?
Both parents are. My mum is from northern Sicily and my dad is from southern Italy. So she's from an area called Trapani and he's from an area that is quite close to Sorrento.
Oh, right,
So
yeah, I know that. Yeah.
it's a bit of a
Well,
mix. Bit of a mix,
yeah.
yeah.
Have you been to Italy recently, or do you ever go to visit?
Oh man, I used to like when growing up. We used to go every single year, like to see
Yeah,
family and stuff like that. God, well, I don't even know the last time I've been. Now, the last time I went to Italy was probably like 8 years ago for a holiday. That was to Sicily because I prefer Sicily because it's more holiday esque, I'd say,
yeah,
and it's closer to Africa, so it's hotter. It's amazing there.
yeah.
But aside that, bro, I'm just always working, always grinding. So I haven't had not had time to go back. I'd like to go back soon though. Ideally,
Mm,
like to Rome or something again because I loved it there. So
mm. Would you ever consider doing any content based in Italy? So let's say you're in Rome or Sicily. Would you ever do like a live stream not documenting, but just vlogging your day? Would you ever consider that?
that'd be really cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm
Yeah,
always open to ideas for content, especially in
yeah,
places like Rome. I mean, my arms are, and you can see this. It's all Roman. I'm really into like
yeah,
Roman
yeah,
culture and stuff. So all my tattoos are based off that. So yeah, man, absolutely. Well, even like kind of like off topic a little bit, but even considering maybe doing some content like in or around Rome near like the
yeah.
Colosseum, like you just said, or something like that. So who knows? Who knows what can
Yeah,
happen?
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, obviously, I did like a little bit of background research on my end. You do a lot of, or pretty much all of
Yeah.
your content is based on Fortnite. Where's that come from?
Yeah, so I mean, I could keep you here forever talking about my content journey. It's been a bit of a
Mm,
mad one, really. But I started with variety, just like for fun. Streaming was only ever supposed to be something for fun, which escalated and turned very much quickly into a career. I was a huge Call of Duty fan. Still am a huge Call of Duty fan. But I don't like the way the franchise has moved over the last couple of
mm,
years, and I kind of moved away from it. So a lot of my success was through COD and through lockdown through 2019 to 20, basically the start of this year, really.
mm.
And because I haven't liked the direction it's going, it's just not something that really interests me that much anymore. I started playing zero builds on Fortnite. Fortnite is always a game that I've vibed with or enjoyed because it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's
Mm.
free, everybody can play it. It's, you know what Fortnite's all about.
Yeah,
So
yeah, 100%.
started playing zero build and just got addicted, and now I'm doing all my content on it. So yeah, just mentally makes me a lot happier on
Mm,
stream, and like yeah, it's just it's a new journey for me to conquer. So
mm. So when you say you don't like the way COD was going, well, could you elaborate a little bit on that? What in
no,
particular do you not like?
I, I don't like anything about the way that it's going in terms of how the games have changed, how you can just clearly see how much more it's all just about money and
Mm,
microtransactions.
yeah,
The player always feels second. There's no new content. I've been playing the same maps for the same 4 years.
yeah,
It just doesn't feel like the CODs of old. The franchise has changed. Everything about it has changed. And the players deserve more. Creators deserve more,
yeah.
and I've made it my life the last 4 years, which I obviously
Mm,
appreciate them for. But I just the way that the game plays now and like versus how it used to be, it's just not the same for me. So I
mm,
had to move on because it got to the point where I would even dread going on stream and playing because I just wasn't enjoying the games. And at that
really?
point, I've got
Yeah,
to
yeah.
change something.
Mm.
So yeah, it got that bad,
So you
you know.
mentioned like a variety stream. What other games did you play? Was it obviously varieties of variety? So what was on your radar at the time?
Yeah. I mean, I did a mix of everything, bro. I started on full variety. Like I said, streaming was just for fun. So, I mean,
Mm.
at the time, I had like the most potato style PC. So basically anything I could get
Yeah, yeah,
on there without it blue screening my PC, you know, the vibe. So
yeah, yeah.
basically like Skyrim, Fallout, and oh God, what else did I used to play? Sniper, Ghost Warrior, anything that
Yeah.
was really like low maintenance on a PC that wasn't
Mm,
crazy on multiplayer. A little bit of Black
mm,
Ops 4 on the lower
mm,
settings, of course. I used to do a lot of horror stuff just because it was just something that I thought was quite fun.
mm,
A bit of a name of myself from horror before I expanded back into what I really enjoy, which is shooters and like multiplayer games. So, I'd say I've dabbled in a little bit of everything, but FPS and shooters are definitely what I enjoy the most. So,
mm. And so, what I want to ask you is, regarding when it comes to streaming, obviously people have that one game
yeah,
that they always go to. Do you think in the future that's still
yeah.
going to be the case? Do you think that should still be the approach? Or do you think the variety approach should be more of what people kind of tend towards to? What do you think?
It's the magic question, isn't it? Really,
Mm,
it's a question that I still haven't really answered in 5 years of doing this. It's one of those like, I mean, obviously, if you stick to one game and one franchise, like you have, at least in my opinion, if your content is mostly focused around that game or whatever, a much higher chance of blowing up because you're building your brand and consistency and everything through that. People know what to expect. It's creating that consistent. Oh, this guy plays like what I'm doing now. Or I'm doing Fortnite. I've just started a brand new YouTube channel, and it's already starting to do quite well because we're being consistent on it. We're giving that quality. But if you do like one video on like this, and then you change this, or you do one stream on Fortnite, then you go to Overwatch, then you go to COD, you'll get people that will come in for you, and I'll have the people that are like super loyal for me. But some people might be loyal to you and the game, or then there's just some people who are loyal
mm,
to just the game.
mm,
So it's like variety is the way to go if you don't want to burn yourself out. Very much the way to go if you want to just like have fun with it. But if you're, and I'm not saying this is a be all end all, but if you want to make it into a career, I would recommend at least try and find at least one avenue, maybe not one game, but one avenue, like, I don't know, FPSs or,
yeah,
extraction shooters or
IRL,
just
or, yeah.
something to be known for. Yeah, or IRL or even outside of gaming, whether you fix cars, whether you test equipment, whatever you're specializing in. Try and find that niche. That
Mm.
niche is what's going to get you somewhere because people can expect that style of content from you.
And then once you grow, let's just say you're on, I don't know, on Twitch, you're on 500K. Do you think at that point
I
it
wish.
makes sense to kind of push out to other lanes or other niches, or do you think still stay to that niche?
Well, I'm on around 60K at the moment, and I
Mm,
know that I can do things like watch paint dry, and I know I'm guaranteed a certain amount of viewership because I have people that I've built over 5 years, right? They're the loyals, they're the ones that will always come back. But you'll always see that dip. If you've, even the biggest of creators, whether, Ninja or
mm,
Cypher PK or anyone in the Fortnite world, or whatever world, if they go play something else but Fortnite, I guarantee you their viewer count will not be the same.
yeah, yeah,
But you'll always
facts.
have your loyals there, or you'll have people from other games. They'll be like, "Oh, I didn't know Ninja played so and so. I'm gonna go watch him play this."
Mm,
So depending on what your motives are you doing it to be full time? Are you doing it to grow? Are you trying to be consistent, or are you doing it just for fun? Are you trying to experiment? It all depends on your motive and what it is that you're trying to do. Like to give you
mm,
perspective, what I'm in right now is I've been doing Fortnite only for like the last month and a bit, so I'm very much basically building my entire brand again, what I built in 4 years of COD. So I've had to start a new YouTube channel. I've had to convince 284,000 people on TikTok that follow me that I
mm,
no longer do COD. And you can imagine the backlash on that.
mm,
So it's kind of like I have to rejig everything and get people to vision me through the Fortnite lens now. So it's a massive change. But this is my career, so that's why that consistency is important. And before I even moved to Fortnite, I tested out so many different games, tried tons of variety, and I was like, when it just clicked, I just knew. I was like, this is something about, especially zero build, because
mm.
if you're a COD player or somebody who plays like fast-paced FPS, zero build is definitely for you. It's way more accessible. I don't know, just when you just know this is
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
this is
yeah,
this
yeah.
is the one.
It just clicks
And I've just
within. It
added
clicks within.
ranked and the content's popping.
Yeah,
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 I just felt it felt fresh again to stream, not like how I was getting frustrated with COD every day. So I was like, I'm going to run with it, and it's been
mm,
over a month now, and obviously growth could always be better, but what do you
yeah.
expect in a month, right? So
Mm,
I'm gonna just keep working, keep pushing this channel, and moving on. So
mm. So when it comes to that transition, do you think like how would you communicate that with your audience that you're going to like this new avenue without them obviously being too upset, without them being too annoyed, without them wanting to leave and whatnot? Obviously, you're gonna have some loss of followers, but
yeah,
what's a good way to transition for people who are in that situation?
To be fair, I could have transitioned a lot smoother. It just depends, really. Like, yeah, I mean, I could have transitioned way smoother. I could have done a video out there on TikTok and YouTube and be like, hey guys, you know, I'm just not liking the way COD is going, and I'm going to be testing the waters. But the reason that I've been scared of doing that is if I do that and then fully commit, and then it's just like you can like kind of like feel like you never can go back. So.
Yeah.
I'm still like testing the waters at the moment. So I'm still quote transitioning and probably will be transitioning this entire year. And when I start really finding my flow and things are moving, I'll be like, look, guys, you've seen Fortnite content on this channel now. You know, I'm sorry it's not COD anymore, but here's the reasons why. I've communicated with it to my Discord, my Twitch group, the Twitter, the guys who see me in like all day, every day. But I probably could have been a lot smoother with like TikTok and YouTube and stuff. But I'm still figuring things out. Make sure you just let people know. You know, and if people are loyal to you and watch you long enough, they can tell by your attitude when you're not enjoying the game. And a lot of people were saying that towards my last days of Modern Warfare 2. They were like, you know, bro, you're just not looking like yourself. You just haven't got the energy. Like I said, bro, I was dreading even to click go live because I was like, I just don't want to play this game. So that's when you know it's bad.
Oh, that's the worst, definitely. So is it fair to say that you kind of got burned out by Call of Duty and all their games?
I'm just burned out with the same thing year in, year out, and I don't mean that as in like the same thing as in COD, because we know what COD is, right? As in the same thing as in the lack of effort and the amount that they go into taking people's money and not providing any content or any. There's just nothing. I don't know how much you know about Call of Duty or anybody who watches this knows about Call of Duty, but if you do know about it, especially from where it came from and the incredible reputation it built itself. These last, well, aside MW19, because that game did really well for me personally, but even that game in terms of content was shambolic. It's a tragedy. Like, we are, in my opinion, witnessing one of the biggest downfalls in gaming history, and they don't care because the people who are making the decisions are the ones who make the money, and that's all they care about. It's a money bank for them, and until that they get changed, nothing will ever change. We truly are witnessing a decline, in my opinion, right now of one of the best franchises ever.
So what's the alternative to COD? So if anyone who's playing COD, what would you say for them to go on to instead?
Oh, God. It's a tough one as well, man, because some of my other best favourite franchises are Halo and Battlefield, and both of them have done the same thing. Halo Infinite is, you know, what is it? It's like no content, awful servers, nobody plays ranked. There's nothing to it. I grew up with Halo 2, Halo 3, playing on LAN, and you know, having fun with the boys in custom games. It's just not that feeling anymore. And then Battlefield 2042, well, the game is like all right now, but it's too little too late. You know, that game was one of the most shambolic releases of all time. I mean, like I said, I tested a lot of things, and I genuinely believe zero build is where it's at, and like it's becoming more popular every day. You know, Fortnite's been around now for what, 5 years? That game just never dies, man. Epic are just insane at bringing out new content, keeping it alive, introducing new players, and like, yeah, Fortnite zero build. Honestly, try it. You won't be disappointed.
Fair enough. I wanted to kind of talk about the loyalty that you mentioned. So obviously, for anyone who knows pretty much anything about Twitch, is your most loyal supporters, audiences, whatever you want to call them, kind of are always consistently on Twitch as well. How do you build that kind of loyal fan base?
With a lot of commitment and a lot of I guess my own loyalty, you know, being consistent for 5 years. Because that's not an easy thing to do. Like, especially when times are tough, you can so easily be like, oh, you know, I'm going to take a break from streaming for 3 months or 6 months or something like that. And then you just end up killing your own career. So the fact that I've always gave 100 to my community, and I'm always completely open and honest with them as well. So I always say to them, look, I'm feeling this, or I'm not feeling this, I'm not vibing with this. And just try and be that kind of streamer that accepts everyone from what they are. I don't judge nobody. Our stream is a, you know, opinion-free zone. Obviously, as long as people are being respectful, of course. But like, people can come in and speak about their mental health or their like life issues, or just let me know generally how their day's going, because I have this crazy memory of remembering a lot of things about different people. So I think people feel like they can engage with me on that level. I usually get called like a comfort streamer. So people like to just have me like tabbed and just watch and then just have it on as like the background vibe. So I guess building up that reputation for doing that and having that. And if you ever watch any of my streams, I try to be super interactive. Like, I've got Twitch chat and TikTok chat, and the way that my setup is like done, I just have to like glance. I can quickly glance and just constantly catch chat even when playing games. So I feel like people feel like they're really included in what we got going on because of that. So
I definitely agree with you. So regarding being a comfort streamer or being described as a comfort streamer, has that always been the case, or have you kind of had to almost transition as well, or just find your style of streaming? Or could you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, I think I've just been myself, if I'm honest, mate. Like, I've
Yeah,
not, in the last 5 years, I've gamed my whole life, right? I'm 31 years old now, for anyone who doesn't know. And I've been gaming since the age of 4. That's when I got my first console, or whatever. So
damn.
gaming for me was always natural. It's always something I've loved. I was always growing up saying, oh, mum, one day I'd love to do something in the gaming world as a job. Never thinking it was going to be streaming, by the way. I thought
Mm.
maybe go get a job for a company or something like that.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
I just started doing streaming for fun because I loved gaming. I loved talking to people and just like chilling and vibing. And it just went from there. I started building a brand, a presence. Probably going to university helped that as well because I had that kind of business acumen behind me.
What did you do in
And yeah,
university?
it just skyrocketed, took off. I studied events management at Sheffield Hallam.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, mostly around like events, but it's still like a business degree. So you still learn how to make a brand, build a brand, be business savvy, let's say. And then yeah, just was just myself. Like what you saw 5 years ago, you see now. I don't change as a person, regardless of numbers, regardless of clout, which I see as
Mhm.
the devil. It's the source of a lot of problems these days. So
Why,
yeah,
why, why
with
is
me,
why
what
is
you
that the
see is what
source
you
of a lot
get.
of
So
problems?
because people chase views and they lose themselves. I understand that we all have to like make like a living and that we have to do things, but clout will drive people to become different. People will start at 5 viewers, skyrocket because their videos are blown up to maybe even several thousands if they've done that well. And you just see personalities change. They no longer become that interactive, nice person. And it's I've got an ego now. I don't want to
Yeah,
talk to you
yeah,
anymore because you're just a normal viewer or something like that. And it's like, I don't vibe with that at all. If I ever meet somebody and they judge me based on my following, straight away from that point onwards, I don't interact with that person. I don't care who it is. I don't care how famous they are. If you look at me as, oh, I'll talk to this guy because he has so many followers, or I won't speak to this guy because he's not clouted enough for me to acknowledge, as far as I'm concerned, I want nothing to do with you. So I see everybody as people, and that's, in my opinion, how you should be.
So how do you build a brand without kind of developing that alter ego as well? Like what's like a good balance? How do you get that good balance? Or does it just depend on the person?
And there's a saying, isn't there? Like, fake it till you make it. So you really learn about somebody when they truly make it. Like, were they really about what they
Yeah,
are about? Like, even
that's
during
very
my
true.
quote peak, I think I'll peak higher than this one day, but my quote peak so far was definitely during lockdown. Content was consumed, I think it was like 900% more. COD exploded because Warzone just came out. So we
Yeah.
were, we were averaging like 500 viewers on Twitch. It was crazy the amount we were growing. And like, I never changed as a person because what you saw was what you got. Whereas
Mm,
some people might just give you the alter ego until they get to a certain level. And then they're like, right, I've made it here now. No more lying anymore. I'm gonna start being who I really am and then just show their
yeah.
really nasty side. So it can depend on the person.
Mm,
It can also depend on experiences. So
mm.
there's another saying that like people that blow up overnight are a lot more susceptible to gaining an ego versus those who have built it over time,
Yeah,
because when you blow
very
up
true.
overnight, you're not used to, I guess, the conversations and the pressures that happen for,
Mm,
like, let's say, quote, bigger streamers and what it brings.
mm,
Whereas if you built it over 5 to 10 years, you know that process. So
mm, mm,
you can already adapt to that.
mm.
So
You're kind
for
of you're
some
kind of
people, it can
eased
also be
into it.
like
So,
naivety. I mean, there's also age, right? People are creating content younger and younger. And if you're like, what, 16, 17 years old, blowing up on a game like Fortnite,
mm,
anything can happen. You're so
yeah.
easily persuaded to
Yeah.
have a certain style of attitude.
No, definitely. So regarding building a brand then as a streamer and strictly as a streamer, not like a person who makes
Yeah.
just YouTube videos or just a TikToker, as a
Yeah.
streamer, what do you think works? Because obviously you've had a lot of success as well,
I think it's hard.
280K on TikTok, so yeah.
Yeah. I mean, streaming has completely changed in the 5 years I've been doing it. Twitch, I mean, purely talking from Twitch perspective, Twitch 5 years ago was a different beast. It was like you could stream what felt like any game and like at least grow if you were like half entertaining. Lockdown changed everything for that. There are so many more people who stream now, so many more people who create content. Every game has got already people who are successful in it. You have to like dig deep. So to be successful in streaming now, like it's almost you can't. In my opinion, you can't be successful in streaming without the content side now. But
Mm,
before, you could probably pull it off if you were like let's say like grinding like 10, 12 hours a day because that was what you were known for. And this is something that I'm actually funny we're having this conversation now. I'm currently going through this transition. My strength is a live streamer, right? What I love being in front of the camera, speaking to people live, like we are right now, having those conversations, engaging. The bit that I say I would struggle more is making the videos, doing the content, all the stuff that happens behind the scenes that lead up to the streams. And literally up until last month, like I'd say a few months ago, I was getting away with it. And now I've had a bit of a reality check where it's like, you can't just do Twitch even 8 to 10 hours a day anymore, because people that are making content are the ones that are receiving the views. And then when you do go live, everybody from there wants to come and see you live. Where if it's, if it's just lives, you're not reaching this external audience. So to make it in streaming now, bro, it's harder than it's ever been. It's nuts right now. You've got to be everywhere and you've got to be doing everything. And there's not really, you can't really slack at all because everyone wants it. So
is it fair to say that organic discovery on Twitch is pretty much non-existent, regardless of, unless you're like at the top, right? If everyone else is non-existent,
it's basically non-existent.
Yeah.
It's not there at all. The only people that really get it or are getting it are those at the very top. And I guarantee you the reason that they're at the top is because they've done things from YouTube or TikTok. The videos have blown up, or they're a professional player, or they're part of a certain team, not because of Twitch. Twitch has next to no discoverability right now. It's really tough. Twitch is finally seeing some competition after however many years of just dominating the industry. Obviously, you've got YouTube lives, which are Facebook, popular, and TikTok lives are becoming more and more popular. Yeah. So that's all getting bigger. Now you got Kick trying to weigh in with Twitch and stuff. But like, what do you say to people like me who have been on Twitch for 5 years? That's where my base is. That's where people have spent their money on me. Where people have earned subscriber badges, loyalty badges. Where I've got 60,000 followers on. How do I transition and make that transition? It's all right for those who are just starting. You don't have that base. You can experiment. You can try. But what about the guys in the middle and the guys at the top? We're the ones who are going to take a real big risk to change. And yeah, it's going to be hard. And I actually said this around a year ago, and it's only about half a year to a year left until I promise you I'm correct about this, and that these top streaming platforms will be offering streamers contracts to stay. Anybody who's at least a partner, in my opinion, will be given a contract and paid some form of salary to stay. Because if not, people are just going to start going to whatever the next big thing is. I think as Twitch gets more competition, they're going to have to do it as well, which, works for us creators, right? We need that. We need that bottom line. We need that stability. There's nothing worse as a full-time creator streaming looming in the back of your head that you have to keep a certain sub count. You have to keep a certain amount of money coming in, or you can't do it anymore. So as much as I love the fact that Twitch has got more competition coming in, I want them to be absolutely railed by more people. It doesn't work for people like me unless there's something seriously substantial that's going to allow me to continue doing this as a career. So
mass adoption. Because obviously I would consider you to be on the higher end, because 60K is nothing to be scoffed at. But if we get mass adoption from small, medium streamers, then could you start seeing the trend of people kind of transitioning to our platform per se?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you're seeing it with Kick now, right? And even some big streamers have gone because of contracts and stuff. So they're a really interesting one to look at right now, because they're doing exactly what you're mentioning right here. And their business model, or their let's say quote attacking model, has been preying on Twitch's 50-50, which I think is still an absolute shambles. Creators should never be getting 50-50, especially when they put that much time and effort into something. And they're doing like a 95-5. So as a creator, if the risk isn't too crazy, why would you not do that, right? If the risk was less for me, I'd do it. But there has to be like for the smaller, medium guys who are full-time or trying to get into the full-time, it's super delicate for us, because right now, for me, I am back to being at the bottom of the medium-sized barrel. At one point, I was getting towards the top of the medium-sized barrel, and I've swapped down, and I'm probably at the bottom of that right now, trying to rebuild myself in a different game. So for me, changing from Twitch is crazy risky right now. I think the only thing that would even do it for me would be proven long-term sustainability in the platform, knowing that platform is backed by investors, and knowing that it's got a long-term future, and probably a salary. Because else, if not that, I just don't see why I would risk losing my loyal fan base and 5 years worth of work on a platform where I already have 60K.
That's fair enough. So regarding the 50-50 split, you think it's shambolic, right? But surely that's the
Oh yeah.
epitome of fairness, right? 50-50 is fair. I understand if you're like 70-30 going to 50-50. That is tough to swallow, right? But 50-50, surely that's fair for both the creator and obviously as a live streaming platform, just looking at the finances just for ourselves as well, it gets really
Yeah.
costly really quickly. And to do that for
Oh yeah.
everyone across everywhere is things are going to build up, right?
Yeah.
In terms of expenses and
Yeah.
cost to maintain everything. So surely I think that's a little bit unfair. Obviously, 95 and 5 is, I have no idea how they're pulling that off. Obviously, they're backed by
Yeah.
stake and whatnot, which is a whole
Yeah.
grey area
Yeah.
in its own.
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah.
people saying 50-50 is unfair. I think that's a little bit unfair to say as a creator as well. What do you think?
I understand that you'll look at it from the business perspective. It's a tough one. Like if I looked at it through Twitch's eyes, like I can understand obviously why they do that and they want to maximize profits and stuff as well. But from the creator perspective, if you know, and we're already hit by conversions as well, which is bad being in the UK from dollars to
Yeah,
pounds. So
yeah.
if somebody is spending £4 to support me in my content just by using their platform, you know, and I earn £1.80 of that for me as the creator who is doing most of the work to engage to that viewer is not fair. I think it should be I mean, look at other platforms, right? YouTube does 70-30. TikTok, I believe, pays
Yeah,
out the full amount of
hasn't
anything you
YouTube
get for
gone to
subscribers and stuff.
60-40 or 55-45? Well, I could have
I'm
sworn
actually
they've
not sure. I thought last time I checked, I thought it was 70-30.
I'm
But
confident it's not
YouTube also pays a
70-30.
hell of a lot more for ads as well.
True, that's true. True, that's
Um,
true.
YouTube,
Yeah.
YouTube pays a hell of a lot more for ads than what Twitch does. So, and with YouTube, you can also upload full length videos and short length videos.
Mm,
So that, you know what I mean? They are kind of like, if you're looking for like the all in one platform, they are like the perfect one, right? So you can live stream, which helps boost your videos, which then boosts your shorts, which then boosts your big videos, which then boosts your live streams. It's all tied in, you know?
mm,
So I think YouTube like has it right. I feel like if there's going to be another streaming platform that comes out and you really want to stick out in this market, you need to have the ability to allow us to post short and long form content, to be buffering our content as well. Else, if you know, if you're a live streaming platform and you come at us with like a 50-50 or a 60-40, why would anybody leave Twitch or Kick for that? Where's, you
mm.
know what I mean? Like why would anyone go?
So that's an interesting take, but in my opinion, I think whilst these platforms are, and I've talked to other creators about this, whilst other platforms are
Yeah,
introducing all these new features and kind of morphing into one platform, which is kind of repetitive across. So YouTube is the same as Facebook now.
yeah,
TikTok is doing the same thing.
yeah.
The only platforms that kind of focus on their core feature is pretty much Twitch and Twitter. Whilst they are moving forward, I think technically they're moving backwards as well.
I just think I just feel like the creator is, at least from my perspective, is looking for way more for the all-in-one feature. Like for me personally, knowing that this YouTube channel that I'm building up right now for Fortnite, which allows me to post shorts, long form, and when I start getting monetized stream as well, that's a lot of security for me, right? That's a
Mm,
lot of the work that if I'm doing a video for TikTok, right, I can then use that video on my shorts. You
mm,
know, if I'm doing a video or a long form for Facebook, I can then use that video for YouTube. Like it's
mm,
everything I'm doing interlinks to that platform. It's
mm,
about like me getting the most out of my time. If you make a platform that only allows 45-second videos, that's no good for me because my
mm,
TikTok videos are under 30 seconds and
mm,
my YouTube shorts are like, you know, over or under this. Like there
mm,
needs to be, even though it needs to be its own platform, it also needs to be convenient for the creator to be able to do what they're already doing and just kind of like migrate to that.
mm,
So, like, if somebody was to ask me, what does the perfect streaming platform need? I agree with you that it should focus on its sole, like, streaming.
sole
But
purpose,
it kind
right?
of needs, at least now, yeah, obviously needs to focus on its sole purpose. And Twitch does that so well with, like, hype trains and the community involvement and stuff. But if you make a platform like that, why would anybody leave Twitch to join it?
Mm, mm,
That's the question. You've got to be different. It's got
mm.
to be something,
And
you
so
know?
my answer to that point you just made, right, is if we can build something where
Yeah,
organic discovery is like everyone has an equal chance of getting it, whether you're a small creator, medium creator, or a large creator, surely then that could be enough. And obviously we do like the base of you can stream on here, no exclusivity contract, so you don't have to just stick with us. You can stream on TikTok
That's
Live,
huge. Yeah.
YouTube Live as well, which I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
was super important as a creator. Never mind
Oh yeah.
a streamer as
Oh yeah.
well. Just because of the lack of discovery right now, anyway. If we can do that, surely that could persuade, especially for those who have no base. Surely that could push them to
Yeah.
our platform.
My counter argument for stuff like that is I've seen apps come and go over the years. Places like Hover, they weren't necessarily streaming apps, but more where you could upload your content. And the problem with allowing everybody to have an equal base is that the good content, or what you would class as good content, gets flushed in with everything else. So you might have somebody who spent 5 seconds uploading a COD clip from their stream, right? And then you've got somebody who spent 2 hours getting that clip, editing it, putting a voiceover over it, introing it, and then uploading it. So if I'm that second creator and I upload that and then find out that this guy who's got just a normal clip is being featured on the same equal level as that creator, I'm kind of like, what's the point? So I'm just going to start uploading clips anyway, because then what's the point? So then what might happen is you might just get a complete degress of valuable content because everyone's been given an equal chance. So if more people are posting bad content, then that's just going to bring the quality down. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that's what I think TikTok and YouTube does really well, is their algorithm understands what quality content is. And the more effort you put in, the more you get pushed out there. But the problem is we kind of do with YouTube, but we don't really have a platform that does that and buffs our live streams at the same time. So like if I'm doing a video, right, and it explodes on TikTok, how cool, let's say we use TikTok as a new streaming platform, how cool would it be if that exploding video is then translating over to my current live stream right now? You know what I mean?
So I definitely do agree with you, but that's why there's different tools for engagement. So obviously the title, the hashtags, the likes, dislikes. Because if there's a bad video, if there is a bad live stream, people aren't gonna be watching it, right? They're gonna skip it like 9 times out of 10, right? They're not gonna be liking on it, they're not gonna be engaging with it. And that's why those algorithms, so TikTok, YouTube, are doing so well, is because they have, we call them attributes, right? That kind of
I understand what you mean, yeah.
determine whether or not the success. Obviously, if you're putting a lot of effort and loads of people are engaging with it, because you could put a lot of effort in, but it's just a boring clip, right? Obviously, you do the subtitles, the voiceover, the editing, right? But it's just not good. It's not engaging, interesting. People are naturally going to skip over it. So as an algorithm, it's going to understand, all right, cool. People aren't really fucking with it like that. We're not going to push it out as much, right? I wanted to talk to you about Kick as well. So, because I know you're on Kick as well. You've got a whole profile and everything. Got a few followers as well.
Yeah.
Do you think Kick is doing enough to kind of lead people away from Twitch? Because the way I looked at first impressions, it's just a one-to-one copy, in my opinion. Obviously, with the whole revenue split, that's the only differentiator, and that Kick is green and Twitch is purple. That's the only other thing I can notice. What do you think about that?
Oh, absolutely. But if you look at it from their side, it's really smart marketing, because they're looking at what works and they're just copying it. And they're like, well, Twitch can't do nothing about it, and we're just going to offer more sub splits, so people will move. People move where money is, right? We need money to survive. So they take what's already working and they just give them more money. As a creator, you look at that and think, yeah, actually, do you know what? Why not? Especially if you play a game like what I play, Fortnite, and it's super saturated on Twitch. As a smaller to medium-sized creator, why would you not? And the only reason I haven't is because I can't afford to lose what I've built for 5 years on Twitch. If I didn't have that, I would have gone. I'd have gone a long time ago.
Really?
So, yeah, oh God, yeah, because, obviously on Twitch, I've got an amazing base, right? And I've got amazing loyalty. And that's ultimately what allows me to do what I do every day. But if I wasn't in that position, or if I didn't have that community, or if that community was a lot smaller where the risk was so much lower, why would I not go to Kick, right? More people will probably find my channel when I'm playing Fortnite. I'll earn more for when people actually subscribe. As your creator, that's two of your huge checklists
Metrics,
done. So they are absolutely straight up ripping Twitch, but they're doing it on purpose. That it's like F you, Twitch. We're going to take what is right about your platform and change the things that aren't. So I'm very curious to see how Kick goes in future. I've stopped streaming on there, at least for now, because I'm trying to not like constantly go between the two. But they are a platform I'm watching with Hawkeyes right now, because again, I'm trying to just get as much stability as possible wherever that comes from.
Yeah.
So
regarding monetizing as a creator, because you obviously mentioned stability as well. what do you think people should do? Do you think people
Yeah.
should still be having that 9 to 5, that part-time job, whatever, or do you think they should just go full in, and or does it depend on the situation? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's almost, yeah, that's completely down to the individual. How, you know,
Mm.
what's their bills, what's their debts, do they have a family, do they have a mortgage, how old are they, what's the risks? You know, like everybody has their own one-to-one case for that. You know, should you go full time? You want my honest opinion? If you want to
Yeah.
go full time, good luck, because it is brutal out here.
Mm.
And we have to. I am on my stuff all day, every day. I work so hard to get and keep what I've got and try and rebuild. And then you get something like what's happened to me in the last few years. I put all my faith into COD. I put all my faith into Twitch,
Mm.
both COD and Twitch. There's no discoverability and it's a franchise going down a hole. You know what I mean? So like for me, I've got this house above my head. I mortgaged my own house. I've got a really nice car. And it's like, I have to keep worrying about how do I finance that in future if it all goes wrong? Like,
What
how do
car do you
I
have?
continue to support me? And I've got an AMG A35 fully
You
kitted, which is
own it, or is it
beast.
financed?
Oh yeah, it's finance. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But what I'm planning to do is have it for long enough so that I do own it and then sell it and get something even better. And this will be my last ever finance car. I had like a whole plan for it, but
Mm.
yeah, like back to the previous point, it's risky. And now, if you'd have asked me, should you go full time a few years ago, I'd have been way more open to the yes answer. Now I'm way more open to the no answer. Like, you need so much stability and proof before you even should think about it now, because it is nuts out here. It's so competitive in every avenue.
Regarding the ability, because obviously Twitch used to have the whole situation with you have to stream just on there if you're a certain partner or affiliate or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you think everyone should be streaming everywhere at the same time, or like, what's your approach to that? Because I know you can multi-stream as well with like Restream or Streamlabs OBS. Do you think people should be
Yeah.
doing that as much as possible, or?
Yeah, Twitch are really frustrating for that, actually. Because like, I am somebody who can be super, like I said, super engaging, right? I have this great ability to be able to read multiple chats and engage with an audience. So, you know, as a content creator, why can I not be streaming to Twitch, Kick, YouTube, Facebook all at the same time? And you know, gaining a new audience through each. I may not be the biggest creator on some of them platforms, but if I'm streaming, my time is way more efficiently spent if I'm streaming across all of them. So like, the fact that Twitch gatekeeps that because I'm a partner, it very much frustrates me. Like, one of the biggest frustrations actually I have with being a Twitch partner.
How long did it take you to get to Twitch partner?
Brian, I lied to you, I flew it, man. I did it in a year. Crazy. Like when we first started, it just took off. It's been a real hard life lesson this last year, but now you really realize how hard it is. And it's what ultimately is going to make me a better creator and a better person, right? The fact that I'm adapting to YouTube and TikTok, and just understanding that you can't just rely on sub counts and stuff like that. That in the long run will set me up for future, because, you know, if you've got a popping YouTube channel and your TikToks are doing well, that will flood more people into your Twitch, which means your Twitch does better, and overall you just become more stable from that. So with Twitch going the way that it is going, it's forcing me to adapt, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a huge culture shock for me. So I just have to keep going, just have to keep adapting.
Yeah. And then regarding, like, obviously we're talking a lot about money, right? But money is quite important, especially if you want to transition to full time. So regarding sponsorship,
100%.
brand deals, like, what's your approach to that? Have you been doing many of them? Do you think people should actively be outreaching to companies and brands, or should you just kind of focus on your content and let them come to you? What's your take on that?
Yeah, I've been doing, in 5 years that I've done this, I've done quite a lot of brand stuff, sponsorship stuff. You can probably see it from my top. I work with Fanatics, so I do a lot of commercial stuff with them, team activations and stuff. You've got to be proactive, right? Don't ask, don't get attitude. If you're just going to sit back and wait for everything to come to you, then good luck is what I'm going to say to you. You need to shoot your shot, really. You know, every creator in some way has value. Don't feel like you should be judged purely based on a viewer count, because I've seen creators with 5 to 10 viewers versus creators with hundreds of viewers, and they are 10 times more engaging, entertaining. They just haven't built that viewer base up yet, or they haven't got that for whatever reason. So know your value as a creator. Go out there and chase the opportunities, because I promise you there are opportunities out there. And don't let companies pull a blind eye on you and be like, oh, you can do all this work for us for a 5% off code. That's not a partnership. That's an affiliate. So
Mm,
just be very careful with the wording and the terms that these companies use. Be business savvy. And if a company reaches out to me and says, "Hey, I want you to do a 30-second TikTok or a 5-minute YouTube video, or how much for a 2-hour stream?" I already have my set rates. I know how much that is. And they try and palm it off and be like, well, "Yeah, well, I understand that, but we'd rather have it at this price." And be like, "No, thanks, because I know what my time is worth." So
yeah, yeah.
know your worth. So important.
Mm. So having rates, media kits, all that business stuff ready to go, and then being on
Yeah.
top of what market rate is essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, really, really
Yeah.
important. I mean, end of the day, right? Just because we're in the gaming and content world doesn't mean you're not still a businessman or woman, right? I'm still
Yeah. Yeah.
self-employed. I still have to treat this like a business. And the difference between those who are super successful and the ones who aren't is that one's look at it from just a gaming point of view, and another one looks at it from a business point of view.
Yeah.
And once you get that
Yeah.
business mindset and you're clicked on with that, you're
Mm,
way more appealing to businesses as well, because they know they can work with you and because
mm,
you've got that rapport, you know. So
mm.
you got to have your business head switched on.
And then when it comes to looking for these brand deals, these sponsorships, is there like a certain platform or website or company or just anything that's a good way to kind of segue into that? Or is it, so basically what I'm trying to say is it through Instagram DMs? Is it through emailing? What's it through? I know the answer, but just
I've
for
done a
those who don't know.
few like yeah, I mean I've done a few proactive campaigns where I've reached out and be like, "Hey, I really liked your product. Any chance that we can do like a collaboration or an activation," which is always cool. But I think most of my brand work has come through email, because I put it on my like you said, my media kit. I have it on
Yeah,
my
yeah.
link tree, which is linked everywhere. And then through my team, and I have a management agency which also send like external projects my way as well. So it can depend really, but when you're a new creator, you don't have all of this. You've really just got to keep shooting your shot to get your foot in the door, like within certain opportunities. So it just depends really. It depends obviously what brands that you're into, what products you like, what you're known for. Obviously, the more you grow on YouTube and TikTok, the more brands will reach out to you, because they know you have a following, you have viewership, you have a base. They know they want to work with you. Yeah, I mean, it's everything is just in comparison to what it is that you're doing as a person.
So basically a little bit of everything, right? So outreach, make sure your content is good, keep posting
Yeah,
everywhere. Hopefully they'll come to you,
yeah,
negotiate, have everything ready so they know
yeah,
that you're actually serious about this kind
yeah,
of stuff. So, and obviously
yeah,
LinkedIn having your email everywhere. And I think making sure your email is
yeah,
updated, right? And having all your links updated
yeah,
as well is super key, which I think a lot of people
yeah.
brush over. So I'm glad you mentioned that.